Hot out the tip, the Chevy straight out the jungle. Anyway. Alright, so what was it like moving from JHB to CPT? What have we seen? It was a bit of a culture shock when you come here. It's a bit of a whoa. In many ways, the city is consistent with general trends or the general ethic of SA, so that part wasn't necessarily surprising, but it is a little bit exaggerated in making that, or at least a little more apparent, at least the juxtapositions, at least economically. It's like, whoa. In certain areas, you might have someone in a Lamborghini drive by like a homeless person, and it's like, whoa. Well, I guess then you start to notice the kinds of people driving the Lamborghini and the kinds of people who are the homeless people. And then the same translates into all different kinds of occupations, whether that's hospitality or like walking into like a restaurant, realizing who's serving you versus who owns the building. But like I said, that's very much consistent with the theme in SA, so that part was not necessarily jarring. What was somewhat jarring was the pace of Cape Town. It's a lot slower, and I often get the critique from people that I should fit well with a slower paced environment because while I appear to be like a very calm, relaxed, very slow paced individual, which somewhat makes sense, but it's also not really true because in Joburg, everything around me was very fast paced. Here is very laid back. People people just like walk like life owes them something, you know? Which is very strange to get used to. And in Joburg, everyone's like going out to do something. But here it's like things kind of come to you and everyone's like, yeah, it's gonna be fine. Maybe it's just in certain places in Cape Town. But yeah, for me, pace was a big thing. Also like prices. It's very expensive to stay in this place. Well, at least depending on the lifestyle you want to live, it can get very expensive to be in Cape Town. It's just charge 70 rand for bread. That's an exaggeration, but it's like, it's unreal. Particularly in the property space. Like if you want to live here, like on a full-time basis, you're gonna be ready to fork out some racks. You might have to sell an eye or just have like a rich uncle, because it's not gonna happen starting out. It's like 6K for like a box, you know, without a toilet. You kind of share it with everybody. It's insane. But I guess it also depends on where you stay. I think the lower the price point you're willing to take, there's a significant penalty on quality and premium and standard of life in general. If you want to live like reasonable life, comparably reasonable, depending on what reasonable means to you versus Joburg, you're gonna fork out some racks. So get ready to pull out the door because it's insane. Also, there's just a bit more, at least maybe it might be a function of independence, but I think there's also a lot more things to do here, especially if like for youth individuals such as yourself. But again, they come with a price penalty, so you can pay like 60 bucks to walk on a mountain and then they call it hiking and everyone's just like, thanks. But largely, I think my perspective on Cape Town is colored in by it being my first foray into independence. So maybe take all of this with a grain of salt, but that's kind of the differences I noticed between Cape Town and Joburg. So that covers everything I wanted to cover in this video. So tune in next time if you want to see other stuff. Peace, everybody.